launches her podcast by taking an immediate shot, in my view, at Caitlin Clark and her fans.
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram?
Did you know that 45% of female athletes experience online harassment? But is Angel Reese really facing that kind of abuse? Jason Whitlock doesn't think so, and his reasoning might surprise you. Before we dive in, I have a small favor. If you enjoy this content, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs nothing but makes a huge difference for us. Did you hit that subscribe button? Awesome. Thank you. Now back to the story. Things get even more intense as Jason Whitlock weighs in with a bold opinion. He's not convinced by Reese's account.
But why?
Whitlock notices something others might miss. He argues that Reese is wrongly portraying Caitlin Clark's fans as the target of her complaints, and he seems willing to ask the tough questions others avoid. Is Reese really the one being hurt here, or is there more to the story? Whitlock breaks it down. There's no evidence that Reese is blaming Clark supporters. Instead, he says she's trying to connect every negative experience she has directly to Clark, which he criticizes as both misguided and dishonest. Here's where it gets interesting. Whitlock describes Clark's fans as everyday families. He asks, do these people really seem like the type to create inappropriate AI images? It's a fair question. We're not talking about cyberbullies here. We're talking about basketball enthusiasts. If Clark supporters aren't behind this, Whitlock suggests a striking possibility. Reese might be exaggerating the situation to attract attention.
When it comes to people finding, like, I'm talking about people who've come down to my address, follow me home. Like, it's come down to that.
Caitlin Clark fans are the reason people are making naked AI pictures of me.
It almost seems like she's trying to deflect blame from herself and protect her image by playing the victim. But it gets even stranger. According to Whitlock, if you criticize Reese in any way, some of her fans immediately label it as racist. He argues that a portion of her following interprets any critique as inherently tied to race. Whitlock, however, isn't buying it. He urges us to step back and look at the bigger picture. Now, let's tackle perhaps the most provocative point. Whitlock suggests that Reese might not have gained so much fame if it weren't for Caitlin Clark. That's a bold claim, but there's some context worth considering. The media has heavily covered the rivalry between these two players, and much of the recent buzz around women's basketball revolves around their dynamic.
Post pictures in my bathing suits, like multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me like naked.
There is something there. There's one person who is driving all this, and it's Angel Reese.
So is Reese really pointing fingers? That's Whitlock's take. He believes she's using the controversy to stay in the spotlight, keeping herself relevant by constantly tying her narrative to Caitlin Clark, even if it's in a negative way. But is this strategy backfiring? By focusing on Clark and blaming her fans instead of her own game and achievements, Reese might be unintentionally putting Clark in the spotlight and making her the central figure of the story. After hearing Whitlock's perspective, it's clear he wants us to rethink our assumptions about this WNBA drama. He urges us to look beyond the surface-level claims and ask, is this really about inappropriate AI images? Or is there something bigger at play?
So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans.
Caitlin Clark hasn't done anything. She goes out and plays basketball. I've never seen her trash talk. I've never seen her taunt Angel.
Remember when Reese claimed that she and Clark didn't actually dislike each other? Well, that statement just adds another layer to the story, and things get even more interesting once we peek into Reese's social media presence. The media has certainly amplified the rivalry between Reese and Clark, and Reese is well aware of it. She's even admitted as much. But then, she shifts the responsibility for the negative attention onto Clark's fans, suggesting they're the ones fueling the backlash. Something about that doesn't quite add up. If we take a closer look at Reese's online profile, her posts read like a curated highlight reel of her life, everything carefully showcased for public attention.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that.
She's using Caitlin Clark, and then she goes, I don't think Caitlin Clark has hatred towards me.
But Whitlock suggests there might be more to this story than meets the eye. He argues that Reese can be incredibly bold when she chooses to be, whether it's through still images or videos. She's putting herself out there for the world to see. Now, she seems shocked by how others are reacting to her. Whitlock doesn't hold back. He claims that Reese presents herself publicly and then acts surprised when people sexualize her. She appears to be juggling two roles, showing off her appearance while getting upset at the negative attention it draws. And here's the boldest part. Whitlock even says Reese's naked body is circulating online. It's a striking statement, but it raises a question. Who could really be surprised if people noticed her after she put herself out there in such a way?
Oh, they think, oh, I don't like her because her fans are saying this. No, I don't believe in her heart that she has hatred towards.
It's like everything bad that happens to me is somehow connected to Caitlin Clark.
The tricky part comes next. Whitlock asks the million-dollar question, are we even sure these are really Caitlin Clark's fans? While Reese accuses Clark supporters of sexualizing her, Whitlock isn't convinced. To him, it seems like Reese is trying to keep the spotlight on herself throughout the whole situation. Think about it. Reese's feud with Clark has had a huge impact on her visibility. It's almost impossible to talk about one without mentioning the other. They're undeniably interconnected. Whitlock also suggests that Reese probably wouldn't be as well known if it weren't for Clark. So, is this all part of Reese's strategy? Are the rivalry and claims just a way to keep herself in the headlines? She seems conflicted, oscillating between denying any hate and then criticizing Clark's fans in the next moment. But is this approach hurting Reese? Or is it unintentionally boosting Clark's popularity through constant, even if negative, mentions? Both players continue making headlines, largely because Reese can't seem to stop talking about Clark.
Her fan base has gone, I'm talking about
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And somehow she's connecting it to being a Caitlin Clark fan.
We have to ask, is Reese truly aware of her own actions? She's crafted a public persona, fueled a rivalry with Clark, and now seems frustrated by the attention it's brought her, as if she's trapped in a game she set up herself. Then there's the controversial topic of racism. Reese brings it up, seemingly escalating the situation, but Whitlock isn't buying it. He argues that her references to racism might be a tactic to deflect criticism. Whitlock approaches this from a completely different perspective, challenging Reese's claims head-on. As he puts it, I'm highly skeptical when people start throwing that card out there. His doubt isn't just about her words. He suggests her invocation of racism could be a way to avoid taking responsibility for her own actions, a serious accusation that adds another layer to the story.
Launches her podcast by taking an immediate shot, in my view, at Caitlin Clark and her fans.
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no!
Are you naked on Instagram?
Not everything bad that happens to you is about your race, Whitlock suggests. But the real challenge begins when he asks us to look at the bigger picture. Are all critiques of Reese rooted in racism? Or are some just honest criticism? It's a tough question, but an important one. Think about it. Anytime a player does something controversial, fans will respond. That's part of being in the spotlight. But how do we distinguish legitimate criticism from racism? Whitlock wants us to see the forest, not just the trees. For example, Reese claims Caitlin Clark's fans are behind AI images targeting her. But is that really relevant to Clark? Whitlock is urging us to ask the hard questions. Race and athletics are intertwined, but that doesn't mean every act must be labeled racist. If we overuse the race card, we risk missing truly serious incidents, like the boy who cried wolf. People will stop paying attention. The bigger point Whitlock makes is about perspective. Are we letting heated debates distract us from meaningful conversations about racism? He wants us to differentiate between overt racism and subtler forms of criticism or personal conflict. In essence, this whole situation is a mirror, reflecting how we handle difficult topics. Can we separate individual disputes from societal issues? That, according to Whitlock, is the real challenge at hand.